Welcome to Classic by Mavi, dear So Creatives. In today's tutorial, we'll be learning how to make this beautiful outfit. First, we'll be starting with the top. Okay, for the top is a beautiful Bubu top with a V neckline with plackets. So that's what we'll be doing in this video. In this particular video, that's what we'll be teaching. So follow suit as we just start. The fabric used here is actually an Adire crepe, but for the sake of this tutorial I couldn't get the Adire crepe, so I'm making use of Ankara fabric. Here are my fabrics. So this will be for the upper part and this for the trouser. After I make the upper part, the top, in this video, in another video I'll also make the trouser. The trouser will come with an elastic waistband. Okay, so I'll make a tutorial of the trouser. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please do so that you don't miss out in any of these tutorials. So we'll be keeping aside the trouser fabric and then we'll proceed to drafting the top. Now for this tutorial we are using a freehand method, the freehand sewing method. We are not using pattern papers for the drafting at all, so everything will be done on the fabric, right? So for this fabric I'll be using 2 yards for the top, and then for the trouser also I'll be using 2 yards, but I have 3 yards each here, so I'll cut out one yard from each of the fabrics. So to start marking our measurements, I'm here folding the fabric. I'll first of all fold it into 2 like this, okay, as you can see, and then I'll fold it again. I'll be folding it into 4 because I'll be cutting out the back and front together. So this closed part will be on the shoulder side. This part is our shoulder, okay. So I folded into 4, and then the center front is also folded, the center front and the center back, so all other parts open. This part is the arm, folded into 4 already. This part is the center front and center back. We are cutting the back and front patterns all together. So here I have my tailor's chalk, I have my tape measure and my scissors. So we are not going to be doing much here. Let's just start inserting our measurements. Here is the center front and center back. All measurements will be coming from here, and here is our shoulder, just as I have mentioned earlier on. So let's just start. First we'll be inserting our neckline. The neckline on this pattern is a deep V with plackets. So first I'm cutting the width of the neckline. I mark 3.5 inches. Then I'll come down and mark 11 inches. For here I actually marked 9, but later I extended it to get to 11 inches so that it will be exactly like our sample, like inspiration. Okay, so after that I am linking it this way. Can you see? So we have gotten our V. Now before the linkage I also went in by ½ an inch. This ½ an inch point is very important, this particular point. Okay, so I marked ½ an inch inwards before I linked. Okay, for the back neckline you mark 1 inch down and then also link like this. I'm marking the back and front neckline all at once because the pattern is folded 4 times, so I'm cutting out the back and front at once. But by the time I want to cut, I first of all cut out the back and separate the pattern. Now I'm inserting my shoulder width divided by 2, which is 7.5. I have marked. From that marked point I'm inserting my sleeve length, which is 12 inches. I'll be adding 2 inches for finishing and for ease. So I have also marked the 12 inches and then I'm adding the 2 inches. Okay, I've also added. So that is it. So the next thing I am doing after that is to come down from my shoulder by about 10 inches or 10.5, okay, to take me to my bust area. Okay, because it's a free Bubu. You don't need it to be tight. Can you see? So after that, I'll just simply mark 1 inch inwards. Okay, after marking that 10.5, I connected it back, and then I'm coming in by 1 inch just to create my armhole. Okay, a little bit of armhole shape in that area like this. Okay, so can you see? Since this is a free bubu, I'm exhausting this length, so I'm using the entire length. Now I'll also come here to the shoulder on the sleeve length area and drop down by 1 inch. Okay, I'll mark 1 inch and link it straight to the neck point. Okay, I'm linking it straight to the neck point to create my shoulder slope. Have you seen? From here I drop down by half an inch. So this our marking, this our opening of the arm is supposed to come from this point. So I am remarking that 10.5 inches I marked earlier on. Can you see? So that means before you insert that 10.5 inches, you should already have created your shoulder slope. Okay, so I have done my correction and we are done. We are basically done. It's a free bubu. This part is already very wide, so we don't have anything to shape. Okay, this bust area is the measurement we are having here is up to ×2 of my bust measurement. So my bust measurement is 9 1/4, so we have about 2 times of 9 1/4 here. So the bubu is actually big. So we are done marking our measurements. It's now time to cut out. Now the first thing you want to do when you want to cut out is to cut out the back neckline. Okay, so the back neckline first. So after re-emphasizing those lines, I'll just go ahead and start cutting out. I'm cutting out the back neckline first because I'll be separating the back and then I'll go ahead and cut out the front neckline. Just watch what I'm cutting. I've cut out the back neckline. Now I'm cutting out the sloped shoulder. Okay, I've also cut out the sloped shoulder. Now I'll remove the back before I'll go ahead to cut out the front neckline. However, before then I am cutting out from the armhole to the hem. Can you see? I hope you can see clearly. This is the line I'm to cut out. I'm re-emphasizing the line. So from that armhole I marked 1 inch inwards. I came down straight, so that's the line I'm now cutting out. Okay, note that there is nothing rigid here. You can be creative. You can decide to make yours bigger, you can decide to make it smaller. Okay, our inspiration fabric is actually a falling fabric. It is actually nicer for this style. So if you want to make this style in a standard way, try and get a similar fabric or even a crepe fabric so it falls nicely. So now I have removed the back. It's now time for us to cut out our front neckline. Okay, now after arranging and ensuring that everything is aligned and everywhere is in order, I'll also go ahead and cut out the front neckline. Okay, now while cutting out, take note of this half an inch you go in good after cutting it straight before you now tilt to cut out the V neckline. Okay, I've done that, and opening it up you will see how it is. Can you see? So your pattern must be your fabric must be looking like this when it is cut out. It's not a sharp V. You create an ½ inch neck bridge. Okay, can you see it? So this is it. Now what we'll do next is to join the back to the front so we can insert our plackets. Okay, we'll be joining back to front on shoulders, on the shoulder area. and then on the sides. Before you create your placket, you can decide to leave the sides open and just join the shoulders alone first. But for me, I'll go ahead and join both shoulders and the sides, okay? The sides like this. So I'll go over to my machine and join, then we'll come back and create the plackets. Dear creatives, I have joined the shoulders, and by the side, it's time for the neckline. It's time to attach a placket to the neckline. So talking about the neckline, as you can see here, I have opened it up. So what did I do? I extended the width and the depth of the neckline. Can you see? Okay, prior to this time, I marked 9 inches. Like I mentioned earlier, I extended it to 11. And for the side, I marked 3.5 before. I have extended it to 4 inches. So I have extended the width and the depth of the neckline so that I'll get exactly what I want. When you are doing yours, you know exactly what to do. That means on fold like this, here to here is 4 inches that we have, and here to here is 11 inches. So if that's what you want, you can also do it that way. After that, we'll now go ahead and attach our placket. Let me keep this aside and show you how I cut out my placket. So this is our trouser fabric. I'll be cutting out the placket from the trouser fabric, right? So it has to go around the neckline, the placket. You can actually measure around the neckline to get the length of your placket. But for me, I'm just exhausting the length of this Ankara fabric, which I know will go around the neckline. So because the Ankara is light and I don't have ST to stay on this for this tutorial, I'll be doubling it like this, okay? I'll be cutting out 2 of it and then use it as 1. Now the width of my placket will determine the width of what I'm cutting out now, determine the size of my placket. For here, I am cutting out a 5 inches width. Okay, 5 inch. If you are cutting out 5 inches width, your placket will come out to be 2 inches. But I want it to come out to be 1.5 inches, not up to 2, a little lower than 1.5. So I'll later reduce it to 3 to 4 inches width of placket. 4 inches. So by the time I fold it, it becomes 2 inches, and then when I sew with 1/2 inch, it becomes 1.5. So can you see? When I fold it, it will give me 2 inches. So after we are here, the next thing I will do, I have folded and I have ironed nicely. Can you see? I folded and I have ironed nicely. So if you want, once again, if you want a placket of 1.5 inches, you have to work with 4 inches width. When you fold, it gives you 2 inches. Can you see? This is 4 inches. When I fold, it gives me 2 inches, and I iron it so flat before I start working with it. Okay, I hope you understand this point. Okay, now I have my placket to create my V neckline. With this extended neckline, the old V neckline will come out more beautifully, right? So to attach, just look at what I'm doing. I'll ensure there is excess here. From the end of the neckline, there will be excess, and then I'll pin it like this all around. Okay, so I'll go ahead and pin before we continue. Note that while pinning, you are pinning on the right side of the fabric. Okay, you don't turn the fabric to wrong side before pinning. It has to be on the right side. So here I have pinned to the end. Can you see? So after pinning to the end, the next thing to do is to go over to the sewing machine and sew where I have pinned. Now we have excess. This way we'll cut off the excess. We'll be cutting off the excess, right? And before we started pinning, we mentioned that there will be excess lower. Okay, so we'll be marking here. We'll come down by 1/2 inch from where the V neckline is ending. We mark on this other side too. We mark the same spot. That is where we'll start sewing and also end sewing. Okay, I'm marking on the main fabric too, so that there won't be confusion in case the pin fabric shifts. So it is on that 1/2 inch below the neckline that will be stopping our sewing. Okay, so now let's go over to the machine and sew with 1/2 inch. I'm just marking the 1/2 inch so that it will guide us during the sewing. Let's now go over to the machine and start the sewing process. To start sewing, I'll be cutting off this excess, okay, to make it the same size with the other side. Now I'll just sew according to what I have pinned. And I have marked. From that point we marked the 1/2 inch down from the neckline. That's where I'll place my needle and then just sew all around the neckline. I'm at the end now, and this is what we have gotten. So please pay more than the usual attention, as this is the main gist of this tutorial, this neckline. So from here, from this V part, you cut straight to where our stitches ends, like this. Can you see? Just cut through like this on one side, and then you come to this side and also cut from the V edge. You go straight to where your stitches started from. Okay, so after cutting, you will now flip it over. Just watch me do it. Okay, whichever side you want inside, you can flip over first, like this. There are no rigid rules. And then this. So by the time you flip them inside, this fabric goes inside naturally. Can you see? So what you do here is to iron it to stay in place first. Iron it flat to stay in place. After ironing, you can go ahead and top stitch. For me, I don't like top stitching. I don't like people seeing thread on my dress, so I'll go inside and then show you what you will do after ironing it. Okay, here I am done ironing and it is very flat now. So make sure you iron it before you proceed to this next process I want to show you now. Like I've already mentioned, you can top stitch after ironing, but now I don't want to top stitch. So this is what you do if you are me that doesn't want to top stitch. Okay, you hold it to stay. You can actually pin it to stay before you do this turning. For me, I use my hand to hold it together. Then when you turn, this is what you see. Can you see this? So the iron mark will be showing here. Okay, so that is where your needle will run through. You now go to the machine and then sew from one seam to the other. Okay, following this line. Can you see where this seam ends? That part that we notched to meet. Okay, that seam line we notched to meet. That's where you'll be sewing, passing through this iron point like this to here. So I'll go over to the machine now and sew. So dear creatives, I'm done sewing on that part. Okay, you can decide to trim off so that this part will not be bulging. Okay, so I'm checking if what I have sewn is actually from one seam to the other. If it is not, it will be rough in front. Okay, so it's in order. Flipping it over now, we are having this. Can you see what we have? Can you see? So it's really beautiful. So what is remaining is just to go ahead and iron it very flat. Can you see how neat our placket neckline is? So you just iron it flat, then you open up the inside, you serge it, you weave it, fold the hem and the sleeves. Then our Bubu top is practically ready. In our next video, we'll be learning how to make the trouser. A basic trouser with elastic band, high waist basic trouser with elastic band. Okay, so watch out for the next tutorial. Do well to subscribe and turn on your notification Okay, now see how the dress looks on a mannequin.